Welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into an analysis of the tariffs imposed by Donald Trump on April 2, 2025. In this video, we'll examine what these tariffs are, why they were implemented, which countries are affected, and how they could impact the global economy. On April 2, 2025, President Donald Trump signed a series of tariffs targeting imports of cars and auto parts as part of his America First trade strategy. The main goal of these tariffs is to protect the U.S. automotive industry and reduce dependency on foreign imports. Trump argues that countries exporting vehicles and auto parts to the U.S. should meet stricter manufacturing standards, and in his view, the automotive industries in countries like Mexico and Canada must align with U.S. regulations or face higher taxes on their exports. Mexico was officially excluded from these new tariffs, a move that President Claudia Sheinbaum welcomed. She emphasized the importance of maintaining strong economic ties with the U.S. and preventing any escalation in trade tensions. While Mexico isn't directly impacted by these tariffs, it will still need to monitor the situation closely as the trade relationship continues to evolve under the USMCA. Canada, although initially exempt from the tariffs, wasted no time in responding. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced a 25% tariff on U.S. cars that failed to meet USMCA trade rules. In addition, Canada has taken action by filing a case with the World Trade Organization, challenging the legality of the U.S. tariffs. This move signals that Canada is prepared to protect its industries and respond to what it sees as unfair trade practices. China wasted no time retaliating, imposing a massive 34% tariff on U.S. imports, effective April 10, 2025. In addition to these tariffs, Beijing has filed a formal complaint at the World Trade Organization, claiming that the U.S. is violating international trade rules and destabilizing the global economy. With tensions rising, the economic impact of these actions will likely be felt globally. Aside from China and Canada, other countries such as Germany, Japan, and non-USMCA nations are also affected by these tariffs. These countries, many of which have advanced automotive industries, are now facing additional costs when exporting their vehicles and auto parts to the U.S. The ripple effects could alter global trade flows as countries adjust their strategies to minimize the impact of these new tariffs. The primary objective of these tariffs is to protect the U.S. automotive industry by making foreign imports more expensive, which, in turn, encourages the production of cars and auto parts in the U.S. The Trump administration argues that this will strengthen the U.S. economy and create jobs. Additionally, the tariffs aim to ensure that foreign cars produced in countries like Mexico and Canada meet the new requirements under the USMCA, such as the percentage of parts made in North America and labor regulations.
If you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here, we didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less, so how can anybody be upset? You see the numbers are so disproportionate, they're so unfair. At the same time, we will establish a minimum baseline tariff of 10%. You notice that on the chart, and that'll be on other countries to help rebuild our economy and to prevent cheating. So we're going to have a minimum of cheating, and we're going to be very severe on the people that at the gate that watch the tariffs and watch the product coming in, because there's been a lot of bad things happening at the gate because the money is so enormous that you're talking about. There's never been...
While these tariffs may benefit the U.S. automotive industry in the short term, the long-term impact on global trade could be significant. Countries affected by the tariffs, such as China and Canada, are already retaliating with their own tariffs. This trade war could lead to higher prices for consumers and hurt global supply chains, especially in industries that rely on international trade. As for Mexico, although not directly impacted by these tariffs, it remains concerned about the Potential fallout from escalating trade tensions. As mentioned earlier, Canada has already started to retaliate with its 25% tariff on U.S. vehicles. The Canadian government is also seeking legal action to challenge the tariffs through the WTO. On the other hand, Mexico has taken a more diplomatic approach, stating that it will not impose additional tariffs for now but has left the door open for future measures if the situation worsens. In conclusion, while President Trump's new tariffs aim to protect the U.S. automotive industry, they have sparked a global backlash. Countries like Canada and China are already retaliating. And the situation is far from resolved. As these trade tensions unfold, it will be interesting to see how the U.S. balances its trade policies and whether these tariffs will ultimately help or hurt the economy in the long run. How do you think these tariffs will affect global trade? What measures should other countries take in response to the U.S.'s protectionist policies? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.